Stack Mills. I'd have to disagree about the Owen deal. The show should have been stopped. The man died right in the middle of the ring. That's a crime scene, right? I don't know.
No,
Might
it's
have a
not
point.
a crime
Not a
scene.
crime scene. Well, I mean, it was. I guess it was an accident, so that's not a crime. But I don't know if there was an accident on a construction site. Would they allow the construction workers to continue hauling bricks and debris across where the accident happened? I don't know. I have to think about
You know what? Whatever. It's it's mute. The show went on, and that's what happened. So you can disagree. You can agree. Bottom line is, show went on.
that. The last commenter
I think Kennedy
mentioned.
should have put a bubble on the top of that car. He was told to that day. He was told he was going down to an area that was very hostile, but he went ahead because it was a beautiful day in Dallas and decided to not have the bulletproof canopy on the Lincoln Continental,
That the
which was
CIA hid in the
which
back of a
was
truck.
which was actually designed by my neighbor's father.
Get out of here.
I swear to God. I think his last name's the grandfather's name was Willie. See if a guy named Willie isn't the person that designed that.
This is your current neighbor now, or when you lived in Detroit?
No, this is my neighbor. He lives back behind. He lives a street behind me.
How's that come up? You stand in like water in the lawn, and he comes up, and the Kennedy assassination comes up. How's that?
No,
happen?
his son is a police officer, and his son and my son used to hang out a little bit, and so we went over there for dinner one night, and we were just talking about shit, and he said he asked me, it was one of those things where, like, are you a conspiracy theory person? And I said, fuck. I said, I said, you bring up the Kennedy assassination, I said, that's probably one of my favorites. And he said, get out. He said, you're not going to believe this. And then he told me the story. Which I don't see why. I mean, I don't know what the upside to him lying about that would be.
No, and a very random thing to choose
Yeah.
to lie about. I just wanted to go back to the guy who said I'm giddy about rainbows or whatever. He mentioned Scott Hall. Like, ask your buddy Kev what Scott would have thought about that. Is he a notorious homophobe? Why?
No,
Why would I ask you what
I
Scott?
think that he was very uncomfortable. They did the gold dust angle, and he unzips his singlet gold dust, the character does, and it says there's a heart,
Yes.
and on the heart it says razor. And Scott's son Cody was like 5 years old when that angle played, and he came home and Cody said, "Dad, why does that man?" So Scott, who wasn't a homophobe, just told Vince, he goes, if I have to go home, he said, I'm involved in the angle, and if I have to go home and explain this to my kid, because you can't just say, oh, well, some men like, I mean, you have to go in that whole, and so Scott said, I don't feel comfortable doing it. That's all it was. It wasn't that Scott was homophobe.
Right.
Scott just didn't want to teach his 5-year-old kid about homosexuality.
Right. Okay. So there you go. I was told to ask you.
Where now we're like he's absolutely correct, and it's a different world.
Indeed. No, absolutely. But I just wanted to get that he made the Scott Hall reference, so I wanted to make that clear. Give you a moment to speak on Scott's behalf.